Hello, everyone. My name is Dominika Palingo, and I'm a business advisor here at Odoo. Welcome to today's webinar. Today, I will be going through how to streamline your human resources management with Odoo. If you guys have any questions after this webinar, feel free to shoot me an email at dopa, D-O-P-A, at odoo.com. Or if you're interested in a tailored demonstration for your business, in that case, I will be happy to hop on a call with you as well. The value proposition of Odoo is that we are an all-in-one business application. We enable your sales team with our sales applications. You can build your website with our website apps, operations with our purchase projects, finance, including accounting, expenses, documents, approvals, manufacturing with maintenance, quality, PLM, marketing with social media, SMS marketing, knowledge, productivity, with our discuss, approvals, and knowledge applications. Lastly, the most important of them all, human resources. We have around 12 million happy users worldwide. What do they all have in common? Is that they all have employees. Employees with skills, goals, achievements, and most importantly, they all need management for their payroll. Every single month, we have 40,000 new users sign up for Odoo, and every month we have more employees to manage. So this is why we would like to make sure we have an up-to-date system to manage it. So today, as an agenda, I would like to walk you through our recruitment, referrals, employees, including appraisals, time off, and payroll applications. It's demo time. This is our website manager within Odoo, which you can easily access through the website module. I've navigated here on the job sites where you have all the open job offerings available listed, including the experienced developer, marketing and community manager, very different job roles. So they each have their own job posting with different forms, requirements, benefits, salary. Let's look at an example. This is the experienced developer job post. Here's a little description, which you can modify. All the responsibilities needed to fulfill the role, must-haves, nice-to-haves, all the benefits that the employee would get. They can easily submit their resume by just clicking Apply Now. This is a very simple form. They can just fill out their email, LinkedIn profile, and resume. But if you like, you can click Edit. And drag and drop any new fields to add more questions, forms, or details that you would like to ask for from your candidate. From now, let's keep it as is. And we'll look at the backend, how it looks like within the Odoo modules. We'll look at the recruiting application. This is where all the job postings and applicants get fed into. Here you can see all the job posting that I've just shown on the website. The top 3 are published. The bottom ones are unpublished right now as we're not recruiting for them. Anytime in the future, I can reopen them. For example, we can look at an applications here by job positions, look at all applications by themselves, and candidates. Our system is candidate focused, so let's look at candidates. These are all the candidates in the system, no matter which job they apply to. I can look at their profiles. This is their candidate information. If you've done any evaluation on them, you can list it here. This is their resume, their skills, any task or meetings you have with them in the future. You can also email them directly through here using send a message. Lastly, you can see all the applications that they submitted here. So I can see Hubert is in the second interview stage for this marketing and community manager role. You can also see who the recruiter is assigned to this candidate and follow up with them as needed. So let's go back to all candidates. We can do a little reporting exercise together. So you can group them by skills. Let's say you only want to look at people who speak French. You can have Hubert and Yin. People who have C++ skills for a developer. You can look at Johan and John here. Now, let's go back to all the job positions. We can look at what other settings are available for us. I can see that I have 4 candidates to recruit for the experienced developer positions, and I have 6 applications submitted. So I'm hoping to find 4 out of that 6 people. So let's click here and look at all the applications. I can see that I have done 4 qualification calls with these 4 candidates, and there's 1 in contract proposal. Lastly, 1 has contract signed. So what does that mean? If everything goes well, Shane will be hired and I will still need 2 more. But let's say I can't really find more candidates with these skills. So I really have to search in my database to see if there's anyone else I can interview. What I would do is click here, search matching applicants, and it will show me a candidate that is not applied for this role yet. So I can reach out to John because he has C++, CSS, and Python skills. Even though he's missing HTML and JavaScript, I can see if he would be a good fit for the job. So I can easily add him to my pipeline for this role. Another way to generate more candidates is through referrals. So what I would recommend is going back to the job positions. And once again, we're at the experienced developer job. And if I click on the settings here, I can start a referral campaign. So what this will do is it will send out an email blast or SMS to all the employees or just selected employees within my company, and let them know that, hey, we have this job opening. Do you have any friends that might be a great fit for this position? Please send them my way. And that's one way you can generate more candidates. Another way is through the referral application, is where your employees can discover opportunities that they can refer to on their own. So this is the homepage. As you can see, there's some gamification. You can level up as you collect more points. Right now I'm level 1, but I can redeem for some benefits if I reach like 200 or 300 points. So let's go through our jobs here. It's a slightly different view than from the recruiting application, which mostly only recruiters access or human resources managers. But the referrals application, everyone can access. They can just come in here if they have a friend who is a developer, and they can just click here to share their own personal link so they can get the rewards for it. And as you can see, I will get 100 points if my friend gets hired. Perfect. So now let's go into the employees module. Assume that my candidate got hired and we filled out the contract, and now we have to set up their information. So I'm back to the Odoo main homepage, and this is the employees module here. As you can see, I already have 26 employees set up here. So let's look at Abigail's page, for example. This is her information, her work email, phone, mobile, her department, her specific position, manager and coach, and lastly, appraisal, which we will go into more detail in a bit. of how you can accelerate your employees' career growth. Here up the top, you can see all the smart buttons that are integrated into our employees' applications. And once again, the benefit of Odoo is that all of our modules are integrated with other apps. So you can already see Abigail has a car assigned to her. She has a contract since October, and she already logged 131 hours this month, which is amazing. So let's look at more information here. This is her resume that she submitted to us. Her skills. If I want to do a mini course for my employees to level them up, you can add more skills here. Her work information. This is the organization chart. So you can see Tina Williamson is her manager for human resources, and she's a consultant. You can see her work address. If you have multiple offices, it's easy to distinguish employees from location to location. You can set all the approvers. If she has an expense to submit, like as I mentioned earlier, she has a car, so she might submit some expenses for gas when she visits clients. Then the time off approvers. So if she wants to take time off, you can set a manager to approve it. Then her schedule is standard 40 hours per week. Her time zone, her role. Next is her private information. So you can set her nationality, citizenship, education, emergency contacts. Very important for regulations and submitting paperwork. Then lastly, the most important thing we will talk about is payroll. This is her actual legal name, which is matches her name that I have. Payslip language, employee registration number, tax filing status. These will all go into her payslips, W-2 forms, taxes that she will receive. Lastly, this is her settings. So you can set her as an employee, a worker, a student. If you ever would like to hire interns or do a training, you can select different types of employees here. If you are like a store, a restaurant, or any type of business that uses point of sale, you can set Abigail to have a PIN code when she logs into the system, and it is available here. Perfect. So now let's go back to my main homepage, and I can see all the departments here as well. So I can see administration, long-term projects department, management, professional services. And the way we have it set up is that people can only view the departments that they manage, but you can modify it using the role hierarchy. So you'll be able to set people to take care of all the employee related matters for each department. Great. So I've touched on this a little bit earlier, but this is our org chart. So you can see how this is me, and I have 5 employees. And Tina from my team also has 6 employees. So this is the entire flow chart of my organization. And you can set up who is the manager for who submits the approvals, and all that sorts using this tree here. Great. So now let's go back to employees here. Oh, exited accidentally. If you ever get lost, you can just type employees in the main homepage and it will take you right back. So now what I would like to do is understand who is in the office today, who's on a time off, and who would like to attend this optional training session outside of office that I've invited them to. This will make sense in a bit. So here, using my filters and groupings, I can filter for who's at work, and this is my list of people. Who's on time off? I can just deselect the I can just deselect the absent today and on time off here. So I can see 3 people have time off for these hours. And then what I can also do is group by presence absence. And it looks like 25 people are absent in the office today. So I would like to review them. Let me look at from a list view. And I happen to know that the first 5 people here are in a training session. So I would just mark them attended manually here. So set present. And now I have 5 people under present. And the next 5 people, excluding myself, I will mark. I'm not sure where they are, so I would like to have some information from them. So what I will do is send them an SMS here. And this is a default message that came up. And you can customize it to your own organization. So I'm just asking them for an update, like, hey, if you're in office, let us know. We haven't heard from you. And I can send this to their phone directly. Great. So that's about the employees application. What I would do is look at how we can accelerate employee career growth. Let's go into the appraisals module to do that. This is my appraisals module. I can see that I already have a couple appraisals in progress for December, and I already have some pre-scheduled for 2025. The real benefit of using appraisals every year is that you will always be reminded to perform this with your employee, and you never skip a review ever. So let's look at one example. This is Anita. Her appraisal is in February. This is her template that she can use. So what we have here is on the left side, you see the employee's feedback. On the right side is her manager's feedback. So once she confirms this, it will be sent to the manager, and you can also hide it. So the manager can't read her feedback before reading it for confidentiality. And I happen to know that Anita would like to go for a promotion in the R&D department this year. So what I would do is I would change her template to R&D. So now all the questions will include R&D, and it's a specific template that I set up for her department. So if everything looks good, we can confirm it. And as I mentioned earlier, we expected for the self-assessment to be hidden until the manager submits their feedback. And then we can click Ask Feedback to prompt the manager for this approval. Perfect. And then once the appraisal is done, we can just click Mark as done. And then a next appraisal will be automatically generated for her. So it looks like the next appraisal is in August. If I want to, I can change it to October. So nothing's set in stone. But I will get a reminder here, always. Great. So that's kind of how you can manage promotions, appraisals for your employees. And now I would like to take a look at requesting time off from the employee's perspective. So once again, we can see their absence and presence from the employees module, but to submit requests, it's much easier if they go into the time off application. So this is my calendar. I can see I have 20 paid time off days, 16 compensatory days, and 1 pending request that I have to review. If I just want to look at my time, I can click on my time off, and I can see things that I already submitted. My sick time off was approved for a doctor appointment. And I'm also going on a trip with my family, which I'm still waiting for an approval here. So this is where your employees would manage their own time off. As a manager, you can click on the overview, look at all time off, and this will be a Gantt chart. So let's say multiple people requested time off on the 26th. And I'm really worried that there will be no one in the office to cover any urgent cases. So I can select the request that I want to approve directly from the Gantt chart instead of going through my approvals and trying to figure out who will be in the office at the time and who will not be. So this is an easy way to review that request here. And now we can go over different types of time off that they can request. So this is time off types. We have paid time off, sick time, unpaid, any extra hours, parental leaves. It depends on your company, what kind of paid time off days you would like to give or unpaid. So let's look at one here. This is where you set the approval rules. So sometimes employees can just submit days without approval. Other times you want to get specific people to sign off on them. Any allocation requests. So if I want to deduct from the hours that they gained throughout the work year, you can deduct it from those days. The number of people who needs to be notified, you can set it here and select specific users. And any extra hours that you want to deduct, you can also exclude public holidays. So let's say there's a holiday in the middle of someone's PTO request. We don't want to give them PTO for that day because they already have it for the public holiday. So if I select this checkbox here, it will be automatically removed. Perfect. So these are all the time off options that employees have, and you can configure it for your own organization. Last thing I would like to go through is payroll. Let me open up the payroll app. This is the dashboard that we're working with. Immediately, you can see all the warnings. So if I don't have someone set up properly, there are conflicts, employees without contracts, or missing bank account number, I can send them a paycheck, and I would like to. Any other warnings that you would like to set for your own company, it's customizable. Second, we have the batches. So these are all the pay slips, recent pay slips that will be processed. You can also view all from the reporting. And here are the notes that you can set. So for example, there's a new labor law that went live in your city, and you want to send a notice here. You can just start typing, please review this labor law before processing the next paycheck batch. And then you can insert link here. So whenever your HR personnel accounting will log into the payroll system, they will see this warning immediately that they have to review and understand what they have to do. And you can customize it so you can write anything that you like. So now let's look at work slip entries. So these are the types that we have here, work entry types. We have attendance, overtime, generic time off, work from home, unpaid, sick time off, any extra hours, double time hours for overtime. You can set it up whatever system you have available in your own company. So here you can set all the hours. For example, for attendance, you can set a code for it. I would recommend not changing this work 100 code that was added in Odoo by default, as it can break some systems that are already set up. But if you want to add new types, you can do so. You can add the rounding. So let's say people want to take half a day off, and half day in your company means 4 hour compensation, then you can add the rounding that if they go away for 5 hours, they will get paid for the full day or for half the day. Perfect. So these were the work entry types, and now I would like to show you the working schedules. People work different schedules. Most of us here work the standard 40-hour work week, but you might want to have part-time employees for 35 hours, 38 hours, or flexible here. You can set it up here. This is the exact schedule. You can be as rigid as you want or as flexible as you want. So you don't have to set the exact times if you have a varying schedule. It's an option. And you can set average hours per day as well that you expect your employees to work here. And once again, our smart buttons up top, grab the data from the employees module, and you can see all the contracts you have that include the standard 40 hours work week. Awesome. And now let's go back to our slides. So yeah, what are the benefits of using Odoo for human resources? You can recruit efficiently without using any third-party apps, a website, or ATS. You can do everything directly from Odoo and feed it into your system and record keeping. You can manage HR data, creating and updating an employee, storing documents. You can have employees update their own data as well. You can approve requests across multiple modules. So let's say you want to make sure you have employees in the system available for projects. You can see through the Gantt view who requested time off and who's available. Career growth. You can manage your appraisals, flexible dates, appraisal cycles, storing documents. And lastly, you can sync with accounting and payroll, all in one platform. Any questions here? And once again, if you have any questions after this webinar, feel free to email me at dopa@odoo.com, DOPA@odoo.com, or just request an invite from me so we can set up a call and discuss your specific use case. I'll be happy to advise you here. So let's look at questions. Perfect. At what critical mass of employees do you mostly commonly see these modules implemented? It would seem the company would need to be large enough to have an HR staff to use a very comprehensive app. So what we've seen here at Odoo is that we work with companies of all sizes, anywhere from 5 to 10 to 500 plus employees. Odoo HR is really scalable, and you can start small, only add a few configurations, or be as detailed as you want for like a larger organization. Let's see. Next question. Does Payroll integrate with projects such that if employee time off requests during a critical path task, an exception will be raised requiring management override? Correct. Yes. So as I mentioned, that's one of the benefits of Odoo is that you can look at the projects you have due within the projects app and see if any employees requested a time off and assign the appropriate employees. Perfect. And another, while there are more questions coming in, I would just like to address a few more frequently asked questions. And one of them is if there is any, let's go back here. If there's any reporting available to understand the health of your organization, I would recommend going into Dashboards app. This is Dashboards, and you can see employees. So if you're a larger organization, you can see turnover rate, average contract hours, variation of employees per month, turnover per month, and it's easy to analyze it, your data from a glance. Second that I see often is how do you manage permissions for users? So I mentioned earlier that departments are only accessible for managers who manage those departments. But you can set individual permissions here in the settings. So these are all my users, and under each employee or user, you can assign specific applications for them. And if I want to, I can also edit these permissions line by line. So if I want to change the read, write, edit, delete permissions for a field, I can do so. I can also add automations using Studio. Lastly, another question that I see often is, can I use Odoo to have my employees clock in and clock out for the day? And the answer is yes. So if I go into attendances, click kiosk mode, and I can open this URL or install the application, and it will take me to the kiosk mode, which employees can use to scan their badges. It can connect with a camera, any information that you would like to add for guests as well. And let me see if there are any more questions. To wait a few more seconds. Awesome. Thank you everyone for joining today's webinar. And once again, feel free to email me at dopa, D-O-P-A, @odoo.com. Have a good one. Happy holidays.